Welcome back. With $12 million in funds and a 3-year agreement with the province, things are looking up for the protection and restoration of Ontario's Greenbelt. We're joined now by Greenbelt Foundation CEO, Ed McDonnell. Welcome, Ed.
Thanks, Mike. Nice to be here.
This 3-year agreement, can you tell us how it came about and what it means to the Greenbelt Foundation?
So it came about, we've been obviously in active discussions with the province for quite some time. We have a long history working with the province of Ontario ever since the Greenbelt itself was established in 2004, 2005. And our role at the foundation has really been to protect and get the most out of the Greenbelt in a whole variety of ways, social, economic, environmental. And so, we're looking ahead and we've got lots of opportunities, but also some challenges. So active discussion with the province of Ontario has resulted in a reinvestment of $12 million over 3 years to really realize the opportunities of the Greenbelt, particularly at this moment in time.
This particular government took some shots early on in their first couple of years about not caring so much about the Greenbelt and not really looking at its protection. Is this an about face for them?
I don't think so, in that we've had a lot of good conversations with them, including people like Minister Clark, Steve Clark. So I think, if anything, there's sort of been a growing realization of the importance of the role of the foundation. And obviously, people in Ontario care a lot about the Greenbelt, and I think they have a right to expect that we get the most out of the Greenbelt. It's the largest in the world. As you know, it spans from Niagara to Durham, all the way up to the southeast shores of Lake Simcoe. It has 2 specialty crop areas. You're in one of them, in Niagara, and also Holland Marsh, and some of the best recreational green spaces in southern Ontario. Altogether, I think it's a recognition that not only the Greenbelt is important, but it's important that there's a bit of a steward to make sure we're getting the most out of it.
You mentioned water supply. That's a big focus. Climate change is another one that needs to be dealt with some of this $12 million. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, 100%. And it's a growing area of work for us. Whether it's in the agricultural sector or with municipalities, they're really facing on the ground realities of a changing climate. And so a lot of our work has been geared towards how do we develop practical solutions, working with, say, partners in the municipal sector. How do we do demonstration projects to raise awareness about what can be done to reduce the risks of major weather events and flooding, really help people at the community level understand what they have that can be utilized to protect against climate change. Greenbelt's actually an amazing asset for that. And our work has really been to look at how do we spread understanding and do some targeted investment to advance solutions at the local community level.
Ed, how do you take this from the recent announcement into actually putting this money at work?
Great question. So obviously, some of the work we have underway in the agriculture sector, tourism, rec, other, as you've just mentioned, environmental sustainability and climate will continue. And some of this is going to be engaging with partners and communities around what their priorities are. We do open grant calls. We have open grant calls open at the moment, and those are a tremendous opportunity to hear from people about where investment could support local community activity and work that's being done across the Greenbelt region, which is really essentially the greater Golden Horseshoe region.
Where do you see here in Niagara the most important, areas or issues?
Well, Niagara is one of the most interesting areas within the Greenbelt. It's really so emblematic of what a lot of the Greenbelt's about. As I mentioned earlier, with the specialty crop areas, some of the best agricultural soil and conditions in the entire country, a really vibrant agriculture and agritourism even environment in Niagara. Those are just a couple of areas. And certainly we've been thinking a lot about how hard hit some of those local folks have been due to COVID. Like a lot of things with COVID, some people have, been hit harder than others. And so we're looking at areas including agritourism, the grape, industry, the wine industry, other sort of things that we'd really like to continue to support in the Niagara region, for example.
Well, let's hope some organizations in Niagara start to apply for some of that grant funding. Thanks for joining us today, Ed, CEO of Greenbelt Foundation. Thank you.